In this last video of the series, we're going to look at how to write absolute value inequalities from graphs. Now, when you're writing the absolute value inequalities that are shown in graphs, you have to keep the whole idea in mind on what you're doing. And that's kind of why I focus visually a lot in this video series on what it means. When you take the absolute value of something, you're technically finding the distance from zero on the number line. I've said multiple times in this video. Hopefully you remember that. So if you're taking the distance from zero on the number line, that means you're going the same distance to the right that you go to the left. And so when you want to write an absolute value inequality, you need to first find the middle. Because if you're going the same distance to the right and the same distance to the left, then that means the middle is the important part. So if I look at it, here's -3, here's 3, the middle is located right here at 0. And so what I have here is, remember, distance from 0. And so when you're finding the distance between two numbers, what operation do? You subtract. So when you find the distance between two numbers, you subtract. And so I have x minus the middle. So x minus 0. That's the expression that I'm working with. Now I have to look at the graph itself. Is this an and or is it an or graph? And since my solution space is between, it is an and graph. So that means it's a less than absolute value inequality. So I have absolute value bars. They are solid circles, so that means it's less than or equal to. And remember, it is the distance from 0 that we're looking at. It is the distance from the middle. And so if I take a look, it is 1, 2, 3 units. Your solution space is within 3 units in both directions. So absolute value of x minus 0 is less than or equal to 3, and me being picky, we never show minus 0. So the absolute value of x is less than or equal to 3. And there is an absolute value inequality from the graph. Same idea goes here. Where is the middle? And the middle is located here. So then it's the absolute value of x minus 0. And if I look at this graph, they're pointing to the outside, so it's an or compound inequality. They're open circles, so it's just greater than. And the distance is 1/2. So again, we don't show subtracting 0, so it's the absolute value of x is greater than 1/2. So what's the theme? What is the general setup in all these problems? When you're trying to create an absolute value inequality from the graphs, what you do is you take the absolute value of x minus your middle. You determine which symbol is it going to be based off of, is it an and or is it an or? And then you use the distance. How far from the middle until your point. That sets up your absolute value inequality every single time. So hopefully you find it helpful. If you need more help with this, go back through the examples and focus on converting and solving and or compound